Hi everyone, in this video we are going to learn Big M method, understanding the concept with a basic example. So the problem is, given an objective function max z is equal to x1 plus 5x2. So here it is related to an LPP problem where we need to maximize the given objective function. Subjected to the constraint or we can call it as condition also, 3x1 plus 4x2 is less than or equal to 6, x1 plus 3x2 is greater than or equal to 3, x1, x2 greater than or equal to 0. So it's again a linear programming problem where we are going to solve this by Big M method. Okay, so when we have less than or equal to, greater than or equal to constraints, we will use this Big M method. So here, first step of the solution is understand the inequalities of the constraint. So less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, equal to. So these are the possibility conditions we get. Whenever we have less than or equal to, we need to add slack variables. Whenever it is greater than or equal to, subtract surplus variable. Along with this, you need to add artificial. Artificial variable is nothing but a variable used to get the feasible solution. Okay. So when it is greater than, you have to subtract with surplus and then you need to add with artificial variable. Usually we denote it as A1, A2, A3. When it is equal to, you have to just add artificial variable. So this is very important step. So here let us take the given constraint. First constraint, 3x1 plus 4x2 is less than or equal to 6. So go to the less than or equal to constraint. So this can be rewritten as 3x1 plus 4x2. Since it is less than or equal, I am just including one slack variable and it will be equated to 6. Inequality is converted to equality by adding a slack variable. So first step is done. Next, second constraint, x1 plus 3x2, it is greater than or equal to. When it is greater than or equal to, subtract surplus variable. Already S1 I have taken, so let me take it as S2 as surplus. Whenever it is greater than, please add artificial variable also. Let us denote A1 has the artificial variable. Inequality will be converted to equality form. So it is equal to 3. So these are the two constraints now we have where it is in the standard form. Now we have the variable x1, x2, s1, s2, a1. So we need to rewrite our objective function. So max objective function max z is equal to x1 plus 5x2. So we don't have s1, s2, a1, right? So the coefficient of basic variables of s1 and s2 in the objective function is 0s1 plus 0s2. When it comes to artificial variable, its coefficient is minus capital M A1. Capital M represents a maximum value. Because of this negative sign, this is turned out to be a minimum value. So this is called Big M method. Okay, where this A1 is being included to find the feasible solution, basic feasible solution. So these are the first initial steps. Next, we will have a table that is called initial table. If you are already familiar with simplex method, this Big M method is very, very simple. So first, construct a table. So we'll have a table where first element, that is CB, which is called coefficient of basic variable. Next is BV, that is basic variable. Basic variables are nothing but S1, S2, A1. Next we have our variables x1, x2, s1. See the objective function x1, x2, s1, s2, a1, s2, then we have a1 from the objective functions. Whatever we are going to write it here, the first column and the top row, okay, those are the coefficient values of your objective functions. Okay. Before that, we should decide the basic variable. So deciding basic variable is very simple. Go back to the constraint. Okay. The last term of your constraint will be your basic variables. So the last step of the constraint is S1 and A1. So these are your two constraints. So S1 and A1, as I told you, the first column and the top row is the values of the objective functions. So S1, what is its coefficient value? That will be entered in the first column. Okay. So S1, this is the objective function. So S1 is 0 there. A1, so what is the coefficient of A1 in objective function? A1 is minus m. So this is from the objective function. Now we will write Cj. Cj is nothing but coefficients of objective function. Now you take the coefficient of x1 in the objective function. So consider the objective function. x1 is having 1, x2 is 5, s1 is 0, s2 coefficient value is 0, a1 is minus m. So this and this entry will be on the objective function's coefficients value. And deciding BV is nothing but the last value of your constraint. After you convert it to equality, right? The last value will be your constraint. Okay. Now we will start filling the inner table. So this is the innermost table what we have. Okay. So we should start filling this value from the constraint. So what is the constraint we have here? From the first constraint, what is x1 coefficient? 3. Enter. x2 coefficient is 4. In the first constraint, we have s1 whose coefficient is 1. s2 is not present, so it is 0. a1 is also not present, so corresponding value is 0. And the quantity, this is nothing but quantity. Quantity is nothing but the RHS value of your constraint. So it is 6. Next, come to the second row. That is the second constraint coefficient values. x1. So x1, below x1, the coefficient is 1. Below x2, the coefficient is 3. s1, below s1, since we don't have s1 in our constraint, we can take it as 0. s2 is having negative value, so it is minus 1. a1, below a1, the coefficient value is 1. And the quantity of the constraint is 3. So this is your first table. Next step is calculating the Zj minus Zj. That is very simple step. Okay, Zj minus Zj is very simple step. This is next step, Zj minus Cj. To understand this, I will take a separate sheet and show you. Zj, usually Zj is nothing but sum of Cb into corresponding column product. Sum of Cb into corresponding products. It can be Xi or it can be Si. Whatever the product we have got, we will be this is Zj. So Zj minus Cj. So whatever we get the result here, okay, whatever you have got product, okay, that will be subtracted with Cj. Cj is nothing but the top entry. Okay. So we will start performing the process here. So you can make it note here. Cb into Xi plus Cb into Xi. So it is like this. This into this. Since it is summation plus this into this. So we have, see here. First one I am doing here. Yeah, first one. 0 into 3. So 0 into 3. Plus, because it is summation, minus m into 1. minus m into 1. Whatever the data you have got, okay, this product has to be subtracted with Cj. See the corresponding entries of Cj, it is minus 1. So what we get? 0 into 3, so it is minus m into 1. So minus m minus 1. This value has to be entered in the first entry of Zj minus Zj. So minus m minus 1. Just multiplication. See here. 0 into 4 minus m into 3. This product has to be subtracted with corresponding Cj. So second one we'll try. 0 into 4 plus minus m into 3. This entire value has to be subtracted with Cj. So minus Cj is what? 5. So we get 0 into 4 zeros. It's minus 3m minus 5. Enter it here. Minus 3m minus 5. This is done. Now 0 into 1. So we have third one. 0 into 1. Okay. Again minus m into 0. This entire value will be 0. The corresponding Cj is again minus 0. So the answer is 0 here. Okay. It's a product of Cb into the corresponding columns. Obtained answer has to be subtracted with Cj. 0 into 0, 0. Minus m into minus 1. So minus m into minus 1 is plus m. This value has to be subtracted with the corresponding entry. So minus 0. So it is m. Okay. Next. 0 into 0, 0, minus 1 into m minus m. So minus m I have, plus of, it has to be subtracted with Cj. What is Cj here I have? So it is minus of minus m. So minus m plus m. So it is 0. So this entry will be 0. So it is just a product of 0 into 3 plus minus m into 1. The obtained product has to be subtracted with Cj. Cj is nothing but the top entries. You will get Zj minus Zj. So this is a very important step. Once you have done this, you can see Zj minus Zj. So coefficient of m. See here the coefficient of m is 1. I am saying only numerical value. Okay, don't say this plus and minus. Here the coefficient m value is 3. So 1 and 3. Among this, 3 is the maximum. So this is going to enter. I repeat, the coefficient of m, numerically large, will be entering. So that means it corresponds to the variable x2. x2 is going to enter the basic variable column. So if someone is going to enter, one variable has to leave its position. So here we are going to use the simplex method what we have already learned. So find the ratio. So which table is going to enter that you highlighted? So this is the table which is going to enter. Okay. So ratio is nothing but quantity divided by the leaving column. So what is quantity? 6 by 4. Here 3 by 3. So 3 by 3 is 1. It is more than 1, right? So it is, yeah, it will be more than 1. 1.5 will get. So what you have to do, here you have to see the maximum coefficient value of m. Here you have to check the minimum value. So among 1.5 and 1, which is minimum, we have this. That means the corresponding column A1, the corresponding column is A1 is going to leave its position. It is same as your simplex method. So x2 is going to enter and A1 is going to leave. Since A1 is leaving, please don't include this column in your next table. I repeat, since A1 is leaving, this is only applicable for artificial variable, not for S1, S2 or X1, X2. Since artificial variable is leaving the cell, A1 cannot be included in your next table. As we have studied in simplex method, the intersection of entering and leaving variable is called pivotal. The intersection of entering and leaving variable is called pivotal. So this is the pivotal entry. So make pivotal 1. Okay. And other elements you have to make 0 by row operation. This we have already studied in our simplex method. So I will be Very quickly doing it. So here is the second table where I have just entered the notations, okay, and the objective functions. So let us come to the BV column, okay. See, x2 is going to enter as A1 position. So out of this 2 row, instead of A1, I am going to write it as x2. So x2's coefficient has to be entered here. So what is x2 coefficient, which is 5. This is done. Next step, I have to make this pivotal 1. So how can I make this pivotal 1? By dividing the entire row. I can divide the entire row by 1. So 1 by 3. See, here it was 1. So when I am dividing, so for example, if I take this as R1 and this is R2. Okay. So what I am doing here? Divide R2 by 3. Okay. So here it is 1. When I divide it by 3, it is 1 by 3. 3 by 3, it is 1. 0 by 3, 0. Minus 1 by 3, minus 1. Minus 1 divided by 3. You can see I have skipped this A1 cell because this has left the initial table. So you don't have to write it in the next table. Similarly, 3 by 3, the quotient is also 1. Okay. Now let's come to the next row. So according to this, we have S1, it will remain the same. S1 coefficient is 0. Now we have to make this row such a way that above the pivotal the value has to be 0. I repeat, above the pivotal. Pivotal we made 1. Above the pivotal we have to make 0. How can I make 0? So here I will denote this as R1 dash and R2 dash. So what you have to do, you have to take the row operation between R1 and R2 dash. Okay. Such a way that the pivotal, above the pivotal it has to be 0. So what I can do here, R1 dash can be written as R1 minus 4 R2 dash. R1 minus 4 R2 dash. Perform this operation. So what we get, R1 is 3 minus 1 by 3 into 4. So you have to perform the operation. I'll just write it here. So here we have, see here I have R1 3. So 3 minus 4 into R2 dash. What is R2 dash? We have R2 dash is 1 by 3. Simplify, you will get 5 by 3. That you have to enter it here. Similarly, here we have 4. 4 minus 4 into R2 dash. What is R2 dash? It is 1. So 4 minus 1 becomes 0. So as I told you, above the pivotal it has to be 0. Such a way that you have to take the row operation. Next, R1 is 1 minus 4 into, what is R2 dash here? 0. So it is 1. Please enter it here. S2 is 0 minus 4 into R2 dash. What is R2 dash? Minus 1 by 3. Minus of minus plus, so it is 4 by 3. So this is 4 by 3. Similarly, find the quotient. R1 is 6 minus 4 into, what we have? Quotient here? 1. 6 into 1, right? So 6 minus 4 is 2. So here the entry is 2. Now we don't require the first table. You can keep it aside. So these are the simplifications where we have got this. Okay. So now what we have to do, here we have to calculate the Zj minus Cj. Okay. As I told you previously, it is same procedure. Cb into x1 plus 5 into 1 by 3. This addition has to be subtracted with Cj. I repeat. First one is 0 into 5 by 3 plus 5 into 1 by 3. This has to be subtracted with Cj, which is 1. How much we get? 0 into 5 by 3 is 0. 5 into 1 by 3 is 5 by 3 minus 1, which will be 2 by 3. So your first entry here it is 2 by 3. I'll change the color so it will be visible. 2 by 3. Okay. Next. What is the next we have? 0 into 0. Okay. Plus 5 into 1. 5 into 1. 5 into 1 I'll write a 5. This has to be subtracted with Cj, that is 5. So 5 minus 1 we will get 0. Now 0 into 1, 0 plus 5 into 0 is 0. This product has to be subtracted with Cj. It is again 0. So it is 0. Next. 0 into 4 by 3 plus 5 into minus 1 by 3. This product has to be subtracted with the Cj, which is 0. So multiply it. 0 into 4 by 3 is 0. Plus into minus minus. So minus 5 by 3. So that will enter here. Minus 5 by 3. So this is the simplification for your second table. But listen here, students. Since artificial variable is not there, you don't have m in Zj minus Zj. But you have a negative sign here. Right? Negative sign. Okay. So 2 by 3 and 5 by 3. Numerically large, which one it is? It is 5 by 3. So since numerically large is 5 by 3, that is the corresponding column which is going to enter. So repeat the same process what we did. Once the variable is entering, one more variable has to leave the table. So you have to check which variable is going to leave the table. So this is going to enter since it is numerically large. Okay, since it is numerically large, so S2 is going to enter the position. So if S2 is going to occupy the basic variable, any one variable has to leave. Since this is entered already, so this possibility of this leaving is very rare. Chances is of S1. So we will check. Since this is the entering variable, kindly check its ratio. Now ratio exists. Ratio is nothing but quantity divided by the entering variable. So this is enter. Okay. So it is 2 by 4 by 3. So it can be written as 6 by 4. 2 3s are 2 2s are. Okay. Here what I have? 1 by minus 1 by 3, which is minus 3. Numerically small, which is numerically small, that is minimum value. So this is minimum. Compared to 3 and 3 by 2, what is minimum? Don't worry about this negative sign. We are checking only numerical values. Among this, which is minimum? 3 by 2. So 3 by 2 means this S1 is going to leave the basic variable. Okay. S2 is going to enter and S1 is going to leave. So repeat the same process what we did in the previous step. So what was it? The intersection of these two entering leaving variable, that forms a pivotal. This pivotal has to be made 1 0 and the other elements of that row, the corresponding rows has to be made 0. And repeat the process. You can repeat the process when Zj minus Cj is all positive. Okay. When all these are positive, you will attain a feasible solution. So considering the next table, because we had a negative value which is numerically large, we are going for one more table. So what you have to do, first replace the leaving and entering variable. S1 is going to leave, S2 is going to enter. So let me take S2 here. Check the coefficient of S2 in basic variable. So here you can see the coefficient of S2 is 0. So this is 0. So that is done. Next, there is no change in X2. X2 coefficient is 5. That also you can write X2 coefficient is 5. Next, as I already mentioned, pivotal has to be made 1. So if this is R1 dash, let me take this as R1 double dash, R2 double dash. Okay. So you have to make this 1 means I just take R1 changes to R1 dash changes to, okay, R2 will take, R2 dash changes to R1 dash into 3 by 4. We know, right, 4 by 3 into 3 by 4, it will be 1. So this will become 1. This is a pivotal. So what I am doing, this entire row, I am just multiplying it by 3 by 4. So 4 by 3 into 3 by 4, I will get 1. So by doing so, see here, 5 by 3 into 3 by 4. So 3 cancels out, you get 5 by 4. Okay. 0 into, so it will be 0. Fine. I'll just, yeah. Next, 1 into 3 by 4. So it is 3 by 4. 1 into 3 by 4, it is 3 by 4. 4 by 2 in 4 by 3 into 3 by 4, it is 1. 2 into 3 by 4. 2 into 3 by 4. 2 3s are 6. 6 by 4, which is nothing but 3 by 2. Okay. So once you have completed this, this will be your reference row, and R2 will be performed with respect to R1 to find R2 dash. That is our next step. So remember, below this pivotal, below the pivotal, this has to be 1. So you see here we have 1, here we have minus 1 by 2. So you just multiply this and add it. So minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3, it will get cancelled and we'll get 0 here. So for that, can I use the row operation? R2 dash changes to R2 dash. R2 dash is what? Minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3 into R1 double dash. Okay, R2 dash changes to R2 dash plus 1 by 3 into R1 double dash. Because minus 1 by 3 we have here plus 1 by 3. Obviously this will become 0. Okay, so we will perform this operation. So we have here 1 by 3. Okay, so 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3 into 5 by 4. Simplify it. So on simplification, we will be getting 3 by 4. Next, here I have 1 plus 1 by 3 into 0. So we will get 1 itself. Right? So here it is 1. Yeah. Next, here I have 0. So 0 plus 1 by 3 into what we have the corresponding entry here? 3 by 4. So 3 cancels out. We will get 1 by 4. As I already stated here, minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3 into 1. So they will become 0. Kindly find the quantity also. So here I have 1. Here I have 1 plus 1 by 3 into, what is the quantity? Here we have 3 by 2. 3 cancels, 1 plus 1 by 2. So we will get 3 by 2. Now check the Zj minus Zj. If all the values are positive, then you can stop the process. So we will find Zj minus Cj. We can directly do it. You don't have to write it separately. See here. 0 into 5 by 4 is 0. Leave it. 5 into 3 by 4. So it is 15 by 4 minus 1. 15 by 4 minus 1 will be 11 by 4. Next, 0 into 0, 0. 5 into 1 is 5. This has to be subtracted with Cj. So 5 minus 5, 0. Next, 0 into 3 by 4, 0. 5 into 1 by 4. So 5 into 1 by 4 is 5 by 4. The answer has to be subtracted with Cj. So 5 by 4 minus 0 is 5 by 4. Next, 0 into 1 is 0. 5 into 0 is 0. Has to be subtracted with 0. So 0 minus 0 is 0. You can see all the values are positive. Okay. When all the values are positive, you have to stop the process. So then what is the value we have got? See here. The basic variable corresponding to its quantity has to be written. But when it comes to objective function, actually we are finding maximization of objective function. So it is max z is equal to, the objective function was x1 plus 5x2. So x1 plus 5x2. We need x1, x2. There is no importance of s2. Okay. So what is x2? Its coefficient, its quantity is 3 by 2. So we did not get x1 in our basic feasible. So that means what? x1 is taken to be 0. Substitute this value here. So max z is equal to 0 plus 5 into 3 by 2, which is 15 by 2. So this is the maximum value of the objective function for the given constraint. So go through the entire video once again for your better understanding. It is a use of simplex method again and again. Only thing you should know which is going to leave the table, which is going to enter the table. Entering table is always the maximum value, numerically large. Leaving variable is always the minimum value of your ratio. Then repeat the same process. Artificial variable will have minus m as a coefficient. So this is the complete about Big M method. Meet you in the next video. Thank you.